What do you do when work is unfulfilling? When you feel called by meaningful creative projects, but you still have to pay the mortgage? How do you take the seed of a regenerative idea and test to see whether it can grow into a viable business concept? Today, I'm going to show you how to approach this step by manageable step and help you find the clarity and confidence to move forward with your purpose-led projects. I'm Alisa Murphy. I'm a regenerative coach and business mentor, and I'm here to help people like you to quit corporate and build successful regenerative careers that are rooted in nature, climate, and community, that bring you joy and satisfaction while actually making a difference in the world. Before we go any further, I would love it if you could like this video and subscribe to my channel. That way you'll get weekly guidance to help nurture your regenerative career, and you'll help me to reach out to an audience of people who want to be part of this transition. One more thing, I know that many of you really enjoy hearing stories of real life people who are going through this journey and taking that leap into regenerative work. The tips that I'm sharing with you today were inspired by a coaching conversation that I had with Harry and her incredible idea for a photographic storytelling project highlighting the work of local landowners. You can listen to that whole conversation now. It's episode 12 of the podcast, and you can find that right here on the channel on the podcast tab. So today you're going to learn how to take things one joyful step at a time, the power of starting with why, and how to shift from thinking about a project to actually doing it. I'll show you how to map out those projects with joy and creativity so that you can approach it with energy and excitement instead of fear and self-doubt. The first and most important thing that we need to get straight right now is that you cannot expect this fledgling baby regenerative idea to meet your financial needs from day one. It's just not reasonable. It hasn't even found its wings yet. So separate the exploration you're doing around this idea and your need to pay the bills and pay your mortgage. I show you exactly how to do this in my video, 3 easy ways to make money while pursuing your regenerative career. So take a look at that, choose the strategy that works for you, and make sure the financial piece is taken care of. Now it is time for you to shift out of thinking and into action. What I see time and time again is that people are far more comfortable in the thinking, planning, scheming phase than they are in the actual doing phase. In fact, many people really struggle to actually take action on their ideas that are forming in their head. And the really frustrating part about this is that every time you fail to get to action, you're letting yourself believe that it can't be done without actually really ever trying. So I know I talk about this almost every episode, and I'm going to do it again. Side note, if this bothers you, when I talk about action, if you feel some resistance or a sort of negative reaction, I think it's an important question to ask yourself, what's that all about? What is the resistance? What is it that you're finding hard about this? We know that action is what's required. On a global scale, we know that we need meaningful shift and change. We've had enough of empty promises and pledges and policies and buzzwords. They don't get us anywhere. What we need is real concrete action. And the same is true for you and the contribution that you are going to make through your regenerative career. And yes, I know it's hard and it's scary. And what if you try and it doesn't work? What if it's a spectacular failure? What if it's all just a waste of time? Well, first of all, I don't believe that any passion-led creative project that in the service of the ecosystem that supports all of us can ever be a waste of time. And second of all, I dare you to find out. Now, here is how you make it easier on yourself. Just take it one tiny, manageable step at a time. Break down that big, ambitious goal that you have into just the very next right step. And if it still feels overwhelming, then you need to make that step even smaller, so small that it just feels laughably easy. My coach, Martha Beck, who I trained with, described these as turtle steps. It's time for you to find your next turtle step. For Harry, who I talked about over in that coaching episode, episode 12 of the podcast, she was feeling really nervous about, first of all, her lack of agricultural knowledge and her, as she saw it, limits on her communication skills, and whether she was really able to make the connections that she would need to make, what was going to be in it for the people who were going to participate in her photography projects. And there's a lot of self-confidence issues tied up with all of those thoughts. But together we uncovered that her first step was actually just to get a really big piece of paper and some markers and spread it out on her living room floor and just map out all of the connections and projects that she already had and that she already knew about. And she wanted to do it in this way that she'd used to work when she was younger, so it felt really kind of fun to her. And that was her easy next step. So now you've got your turtle step, and you do it, and you just keep working through what is the next turtle step and the next turtle step. And every time you do that, your confidence will build. Every time you do that, you will get just a little bit more sense of possibility, and you will start to build momentum. And at a certain point, you'll reach that stage where you can really start asking, is this a sort of creative side project, or is this something that I could potentially take forward into a viable regenerative business idea? Can you see how your regenerative pathway will start to unfold simply by taking action? Let me know in the comments if this is resonating with you, or if you have any open questions that you want me to answer. Now, the last thing that I want to share with you is about self-doubt, because I think that is the number one thing that holds people back from regenerative careers. You're going to tell yourself that it's really about the money. You're going to tell yourself that it's about your skills and experience, that you're just too busy, or that it probably can't be done. But what's really going on is that you don't believe strongly enough that you can actually do it. But I do. I want you to know that I believe in you. And more than that there are people waiting for you to bring your idea to life, species waiting for you to bring your idea to life, ecosystems waiting for you to bring this to life. We have spent long enough relying on incumbent power structures to get us out of this polycrisis. It's just not going to happen. Change has to happen from the ground up. And your little half-formed, half-imagined idea has a role to play in that change. Believe in it, believe in yourself, and take things one step at a time. You're amazing. Now get to work.